Shakil Topu down to Sohail Rana. Seems like he's been around there for an awful long time for the Bashundura midfielder. And the first touch for Iswan. In some ways this is a dead rubber. In some ways this is a celebration for Singapore. But for Gavin Lee and co, it really is a learning experience. And plenty of games with the two respective ASEAN competitions looming for him to have a look at some of his players before the Asian Cup in Saudi next year. But next year will come along very, very quickly. A chance for Glenn Quet in particular to maybe establish himself. Charles Amoura, suspended absentee for Singapore. That's why he's not in the starting 11. Nur Adam. Harris knocked off the ball. Morselin's touch. Shah just gets a little nick in. Referee happy with that, and Harris Stewart was looking for Iksan. Plenty of energy in the heart of the midfield, and Sohail Rana finds Hamza. Hamza Chowdhury plays his football for Leicester, who are having a difficult time in the Championship in England, as Iksan barnstorms his way through. He's a big, powerful boy, is Iksan Fandi. Good news for Singapore is Ilan is back playing fairly regularly for Port, although he's struggling to get into the starting 11. And Ilan is back getting games for Buriram after an injury. He's on the bench today. First corner, 5 minutes in. Harris Stewart really doesn't care about the reputations of players he's involved with. He knows he's got to be physical. Irfan and Safwan also looking to get some pressure on the ball. It breaks to Safwan. Decent crossing. Gathered by Mittelmama. Dhaka Abahani, goalkeeper. Another youngster, just 22. Javier Cabrera really is just trying to build a team. And in many ways, their points total in this Asian Cup qualifying campaign doesn't really represent how they played. Here's Hamza. Snowdudin. Sohail. Shakil Topu. Finnish born Tariq. Now to Saad. Well, 27 is a real veteran. That's good play by Fahamadul. Decent ball in, and Ryan Stewart does well. Puts it out for a first corner. Now Adam Abdullah's had a couple of difficult moments, it must be said, over on that right-hand side against Fahamadul Islam. Good ball in. That's to question. And Ryan Stewart decides safety first. Irfan on Hamza. Singapore man for man. It's called in and put clear by Shah Shahiran. Not the best ball played out. Iksan comes into Sohail Rana and then gives the ball away rather carelessly. Bangladesh happy to go right the way back to their goalkeeper to start possession off again. 2-1 to Singapore when they played in Dhaka. Since then, of course, a new coach. This is his first match as the official man in charge. He's had 6 as interim coach, but an 18-month contract handed out to him in November. means that Gavin will be leading Singapore all the way to Saudi. Irfan, a little bit too far ahead of Harris Stewart. Zayan down the line. This is Faisal Fahim. Faisal, decent ball over the top, and again it asks the question of Noor Adam. They could well be playing on the left back. He's winning his 11th cap as the Lion City sailor. Pressure there from Glenquer, forcing the error. Really am curious about how Gavin is playing this. It's effectively a 4-4-2 when defending. Shah. Safwan. Safwan under pressure from Hamza Chowdhury. Now Adam, little dink over the top. It's not the worst ball. Belted clear by Tariq Kazi. 25-year-old. He's a free agent at the moment. He was with the Bashundora Kings, the current league leaders in the Bangladesh League. Safwan goes a little bit more route one and then wins the header, but it's comfortable enough for Shamit. Nice turn, and Irfan to his brother Iksam. Flag has stayed down. Iksam gets the ball across, but it's over the top of Harris. Zayn Ahmed on to Hamza, who's incurred the wrath of the Singapore fans somehow, Hamza Chowdhury. Harris that time doing the closing down. Mittal clears left-footed. Ryan found his brother. Under Shah, but helped out by Ryan. Into Shah Shahran, who offers his apologies. Safwan will find Noor Adam. Plenty of possession for Singapore in this opening little spell. Lovely idea, just to curl it into Harris. Shah sees these passes. Can be so delicate. Had a couple of assists in the AFC Champions League match a couple of months ago, a couple of weeks ago. Two delicious assists for Tampines goals. As against Bangkok United, the Tampines going out. Iswan comfortable with both left and right foot, always being good with the ball at his feet. Iswan Mahmood, very much the number one for Singapore. Saduddin. Saharana. He's got the experience at 31 years of age. Just sits in there, lets Hamza do all his running. Hamza's happy to do that. Tariq out wide. Side once again. Young ball over the top once again. They're trying to play on the left back. They know that Mohammed Islam has given Adam a couple of difficult moments. And there's another one for the Lion City Sailors left back. Helped out by Kyoga Nakamura. There was a stud left in there. Mohammed is down on the floor, but Singapore are coming forward through Ryan Stewart, but he took his time, took too much time. And this comes the other way, Fahim. He's on the far side. Islam is still down on the floor. Just getting up now as Hamza Chowdhury finds Fahim. There's an arrogance about Hamza. In a good way. Breeds confidence in the rest of his team. Oh, lovely ball round the corner. Mohammed Islam once again. Sadruddin measures the cross. And coming in from a late position. And that was a shot. Another free agent just at the moment. Just coming behind him, an awkward one for Shamit. On the bench, it's very much an ex-Tampines crew, isn't it? As Islam refuses to panic. Neither does Irfan. Mustafik and Noor Rahman joining Gavin Lee on the coaching bench. Hamza again, good selection. Shamit puts the shot away, and Adam hoiks it clear. Singapore with the bulk of the possession in the opening 12 minutes or so, but right back into it. Irfan's header. Clearance completed by Harris, and then on to the referee from Kyoga Nakamura. That'll be a drop ball in favour of Singapore. As we say, this is part of the preparations for Saudi. The ASEAN Championship is coming up as well. Bangladesh, although Sim's done quite a bit today. Playing Quer ducks into his man. Sadruddin wanted the free kick, Saad. Match is being played elsewhere in the Asia Cup qualifiers. Myanmar beating Pakistan by 2 goals to 1 in a Pakistan home match played behind closed doors. Sri Lanka lead Chinese Taipei 3-1. Timor-Leste leading 1-0 in the Maldives. Vietnam leading Malaysia by a goal to 0 early on. Nepal 0, Laos 0. And here, of course, goalless. Also playing later on tonight, Thailand versus Turkmenistan in a winner-takes-all. And India versus Hong Kong also in this group. And also a winner-takes-all, Tajikistan versus Philippines. Here's Harris, just trying to push out a little bit wide to find a little bit of space. Irfan, getting the best of balls in there by Shah. Harris will chase forward. And there was a stud showing there. Harris not particularly impressed by the challenge that came in. Omar Shakil. Nakamura's done well. Stewart breaks to Harris. Into Hamza. Head to the box is Shah Shahidan. Slows down very, very quickly. Now Adam scoops it out wide. Looks for Glenn. Glenn Quaid's done well. Chance to run at his fullback. Kyogo Nakamura. Not quite on the same wavelength, the former Tampines colleagues. The chances, lovely little touch by Kyogo. And then the first shot is blocked by Hamza. And Shah just couldn't get it under control quickly enough in this second shot. Harris in quickly, looks for Iksan Fandi. Iksan! Plenty of power. Solid save from Mittal Mama. No doubt in his mind he was going to take this challenge on. Sahorana finds Hamza once again. On the corner is Tariq Kazi. Safwan, he won the challenge. Irfan just helped it into the corner, and Adam did really well just to put his body in between for Hamidul Islam and the ball. Ben Abraham. New face for me from the refereeing stakes. Good experience for the Australian crew as well. Harris Stewart. Been a regular starter for Uthai Thani. Mid-table in the top flight in Thailand, as that's played in by Ryan Stewart and just poured away. Not convincingly by Mittal. Decent cross coming in from Ryan. And Harris just does enough to win the ball back. Kyogo Nakamura slides it through. Glenn Quaid. Iksan just didn't get it right, but the flag is up for offside against Glenn Quaid over on the far side. Iksan will be relieved, although he'd still like to have hit the back of the net with the header. But he keeps getting in these positions, does Iksan Fandi. Good call by the assistants on this side. It's a decent cross in by Glenn, just clips it up. This is the earlier ball in. Again, Iksan can be a target man. He's good in the air, he's got pace, and can hold the ball up. Most forwards only have one of those attributes. Hamza happy to go wide to Tariq. Second corner of the game won by Bangladesh. And from Fandi. Sheikh Morsalim plays his football domestically in Dhaka. It's over to take the corner. And Tariq Kazi. Saudi didn't make their way forward. neither what you call giants, but the Finnish-born Tariq has given himself a couple of international goals. Hams has helped himself to 4 in just 8 internationals. Soho. Nice movement. Doesn't quite come off, but there's plenty of creativity there from Bangladesh. Clearly been worked on that in the training ground. And a lovely spin and turn. Hamza was available on the far post. Now Adam did just enough. And Nakamura's in. Soho Rana, long range. Need to be very good to beat Islam Mahmoud from that range. One goal in 79 internationals. I think we have one reason why that might be. Free kick goes against Glencoe. Bangladesh have got themselves really back into this as a contest. It looked very good for Singapore for the first 10 minutes. It's been a lot more even since then. Fahim. They've got plenty of height in the heart of the defence, Singapore. And they look for Ryan Stewart as that just eased out of play. Soho Rana. Harris rather isolated at full back, but he's won a corner. That's really good play by the Kanchanaburi defender. This will be the third corner of the first half for Singapore. Nakamura got plenty of targets. Safwan just trying to release himself. Let's get to the back post, and there is Safwan Bahrudin. Floated it back over the goal, but he was picked out. Nakamura taken out. That's a foul. That's the definition indeed of a foul. Nakamura just trying to get the better of Sardudin. Another Bashandora contingent. Stewart down the line trying to pick out his brother. Ryan, the fullback, is a year older than Harris. Both are playing their football in Thailand. So Harana once again just neat and tidy in possession. Hamza. Ooh, he's got away with one there. Looks like he pulled Sharan back, and he's made the most of it as well. Poor first touch from Hamadul. Hamza. Stewart. And Harris. Good battle, plenty of physical confrontations going on there. It is a good test for Singapore, this. Nakamura just leaves his man for Hamadul once again. Has found the ball played into Morsalim. Here's Iksam. And Stewart. Too far ahead of Haris Harron. Maybe on his debut he might have chased that Harris. Now he just reverts back into a central midfield position. That's clever from Glenn. Sarduddin offers his apologies, got there as quick as he could, but surely that's going to be a yellow card. He's very late. To his credit, he pulls out, but I haven't seen a card produced there by referee Ben Abraham. Shot. Kyoga Nakamura slows down very, very quickly. Morsalim. Long way out, there was support coming, you can see over on this near side. Faisal Ibrahim getting the shot away. Faisal Fahim getting the shot away. Chimichurna was saying, let's just play the ball into me. Just edging away from that left-hand side for the first time. Sohorana. Irfan drives forward, looks for Glenn. Glenn's first touch is a good one. Glenn Quay straight to the keeper. Iksam's there and then put in by Harris. Harris Stewart gives Singapore the lead in the 31st minute. Irfan Fandi doing all the work, breaking through from the back. Lovely pass, releasing Glenn Quay. Glenn's powerful shot parried, but only as close as Harris Stewart for his first international goal. Does really well. Iksam's in support, it goes beyond Iksam, and the Harris is there just to put it into the corner. Nice, cool finish. Decent first save, but it goes into a dangerous area. And in his 15th appearance, it's international goals now for Harris Stewart. And Singapore have the lead. Adam Abdullah's improved after a shaky start as well. Now, all very encouraging for Singapore. Kazi finds Hamza. Nice little flick through. And Safwan is over expertly. He also gets the goal kick. Hamadul Islam doesn't like it, but Safwan positions himself so well. His reading of the game is a real plus point at both domestic and international level. Glenn Quay's effects of one or two strong challenges that have come in from Saadudin. Good as well. Let's see what Bangladesh have got in response. Being competitive, certainly. Cabrera was saying that if they can get through the first half, they'll have faith in his team. They do score an awful lot of late goals. And they did in their Asian Cup qualifying campaign so far. Big challenge in from Kyuba Nakamura. The referee belatedly has given the free kick. I don't think Nakamura's got anything he can really complain about. Nurul Islam left in a crumpled heap on the floor. He's been busy down that right-hand side. Great to see the stands full at the National Stadium. It's not a full house, but it's 30,000 or so expected. Chichaldu was the target. He's wonderful to have as the leader, but he does seem to be the main man. Quiet game so far for Iswan Mabud. Shah. Shahan just helps it forward. The best ball played in. Morselin. Interception comes in from Safwan. Once again has been outstanding. On the line is Zain Ahmad. Iksan was blocked off. Rather expertly, as must be said, by Shakil Topu. Sohail. Shamichun has not really had an influence, expecting more from the Canadian. He's on the ball now, Shamit. Saadudin goes down the line. Cover that time from Shah Shahidan. Will have done their homework. You know that there is a long throw expert in Saadudin. Doesn't quite get it into the penalty spot, but he can certainly hit the front of the 6-yard box. And of course he goes short. Has a second chance. Saadudin, that's easily cleared by Harris. He comes straight back again though, and anything from 30, 35 metres has to be special to beat Iswan. That was not special from Fahamadov. Shah. The Nearly caught in possession, indeed he was. He's got away with one there. Irfan, he hasn't. Fahim, big chance for Morsalim. And, that's going to be a penalty. Referee says no to a penalty as Fahim went over the challenge from Safwan Bahrudin. No VAR, so that will not be reversed. Bangladesh can get themselves very, very unlucky. That one is a foul. And Bangladesh, the Bengal Tigers, will not be happy. Have a look at this. Morsalim shot. Safwan is there and he just jumps into a foot of Fahim. Well, the referee was blocked off by two players. And perhaps the fact it wasn't a foot or a leg or a lunge, but the upper body that Safwan put into the way of Fahim has brought Singapore a real stroke of fortune. The Bangladeshis in the crowd making a rare old racket as Bangladesh through Hamza Chowdhury prepare for this free kick. He's just shifted the ball a metre or so. And Hamza slides it in. Brilliant clearance that by Irfan. Held back in. Safwan. No real communications. That slides wide from Sadhuddin. But that first header from Irfan. Well, he clattered the ball and his own man. Shah Sahiram, how about that? It's when the second ball comes in, actually, I think that Shah gets a knock from his own player. It took a deflection there as well. Here's one. Belts it clear. 5 minutes till half-time. Singapore 1, Bangladesh 0. Asian Cup qualifier. Singapore unbeaten. Ryan Stewart. Harris Stewart with the only goal for the Lions of Singapore. Now Adam. Natural left-footed player. Shah Sahiram has filled in at left-back in previous matches. Iksam. If he'd have left that might have run on for Harris. But he didn't, and it didn't. Spanish coach Javier Cabrera. Harris has done well. Here's Iksam. Hamza scraps, wins the ball back. And then Shah does the same for Singapore. Glenn Quayle. Nakamura goes outside of him. Glenn takes on his man and eventually finds Kyoga Nakamura. Advantage played, looking for Iksam. A little bit too close to the goalkeeper. First time we've seen Nakamura get free with that splendid left foot.